You have a dog, and that dog, that goofy, tail-wagging, completely dependent creature, was a wolf, a real one, the kind that hunted in packs and tore things apart. We took a predator and turned it into something that sleeps under blankets. We've done it over and over. Aurochs, aggressive cattle that stood 6 feet at the shoulder, became the calm animals standing in dairy farms today. Jungle fowl that fled at the sight of humans became chickens that walk right up to you. 14 species transformed completely across thousands of years. And it's happening again, right now. The leading candidates aren't what you'd expect. One of them is probably watching you from a telephone wire. Another went through your garbage last night. And the third, based on what scientists are actually measuring in cities today, is further along than almost anyone realizes. But to understand which animal is next, you first have to understand what domestication actually is, because most people have it completely wrong. Domestication is not taming, not training, not keeping an animal long enough that it stops biting you. Domestication is a biological rewrite. It changes the animal at the genetic level, its body, its brain, its behavior. And we know exactly how it works, because in 1959, a Soviet geneticist named Dmitry Belyayev recreated it from scratch at a fur farm in Siberia. He started with silver foxes, wild ones, the kind that would take your finger off if you reached into the cage. His only rule, breed the calmest animals. Every generation, keep the ones that hesitated the least when a human approached. Nothing else, just tameness. Within 6 generations, something happened that nobody fully expected. The foxes started changing physically. Their ears went floppy, their tails curled upward, white patches appeared on their coats. They started wagging when humans walked in. They whimpered for attention. They made eye contact and held it. Nobody designed any of that. Belyayev selected for one thing, and the animal quietly rebuilt itself around it. Ludmila Trut, who continued the experiment for decades after Belyayev died, published the findings in American Scientist in 1999. What she documented was a pattern, the same cluster of traits appearing together every single time an animal gets domesticated. Scientists now call it the domestication syndrome. Floppy ears, smaller teeth, shorter face, reduced fear, stronger attachment to humans. Dogs have it, pigs have it, cows have it. The foxes developed it in under 60 years. Same blueprint every time, as if something inside them was already waiting to be unlocked. But most animals can't cross this line, and we've tried. Out of 148 large, wild mammals humans have had real contact with, only 14 were ever successfully domesticated. Jared Diamond explained why in Guns, Germs, and Steel in 1997. One failed trait ruins the entire process. If the animal panics too easily, won't breed in captivity, or is dangerously territorial, the experiment ends before it starts. Zebras look exactly like horses. They've never been domesticated, not once. They bite and won't release, attack without warning, and panic violently even after years of human exposure. The bar is extremely high. Almost nothing clears it. And then there's the cat, which is strange because the cat never actually cleared the bar the way we think. The cat domesticated itself. Around 10,000 years ago, humans in the Near East started farming. Grain storage attracted mice. Mice attracted wildcats. The cats calm enough to tolerate humans nearby got easy meals. The nervous ones fled. Over centuries, without anyone planning it, proximity did the work. A 2007 genetic study in Science by Driscoll and colleagues traced all domestic cats back to a single wild cat population in the Fertile Crescent. We didn't choose the cat chose to stay. And that changes everything, because it means domestication doesn't need human intention. It just needs an animal that keeps deciding to come a little closer, and enough generations for that decision to get written into its biology, which is exactly what's being measured in cities right now. So, the candidates. Number 3, the raccoon. Raccoons in North American cities have been documented solving multi-step puzzles, coordinating in small groups, and learning by watching other raccoons, including how to open latches and containers specifically designed to stop them. They're not just adapting to human environments, they're tracking human behavior patterns. Their boldness around people is measurably increasing across generations. They clear most of Diamond's requirements. The main barrier is breeding willingly in captivity, and urban raccoons are already trending in that direction without any help from us. Number 2, the crow. Remember the opening, one of them watching from a telephone wire. Urban crows recognize individual human faces, not human faces generally, specific people. They hold grudges for years and teach their young which humans are safe and which aren't. A 2005 study by John Marsleff at the University of Washington confirmed this. Some urban crows have been documented leaving small objects for humans who feed them consistently. Their social structure is complex, hierarchical, and maps surprisingly well onto human environments. They're adapting to us in ways researchers are only beginning to understand. Number 1, the urban fox. This is where the science gets genuinely striking. Urban foxes across Europe have been changing for decades, measurably. Their snouts are getting shorter, their skulls are shifting shape, their stress hormone responses to human presence are dropping generation by generation. A 2017 paper in Science by Johnson and Munshi South documented genetic changes in urban fox populations that, in several cases, directly parallel the early stages of Belyaev's experiment. Nobody planned it, no program, no selection criteria, just the foxes bold enough to approach humans eating better, surviving longer, leaving more offspring. The cautious ones getting edged out. The same mechanism that turned the wolf into the dog, running again, quietly, in every city on Earth. A 2014 study by Wilkins, Wrangham, and Fitch in Genetics traced the entire domestication syndrome back to one underlying shift, a reduction in specific embryonic cells that control fear responses. Reduce the fear, everything else follows automatically. The urban fox's fear response is already dropping, which means the window isn't thousands of years away. The fox experiment took 60 years in a controlled Siberian farm. Cities are running a version of that experiment on hundreds of species simultaneously across every continent with no end date. The process that created every domesticated animal in history didn't stop. It never stopped. And the first people to own a truly new domesticated species in thousands of years may already be alive today.